Hey dreamers, this is Jade and welcome back for another journal catch up video. I am getting the information that I need down as far as my watch list, books read, playlist, etc. For August. Yes, I know we are in September, but I am getting this done and completed. And I have since moved on to a new mini bullet journal since August was the last month that a complete month that I would be able to get into the Loish term that you see here on the screen. As I said, I have already set up a new one. I will link that above in the cards if anybody is interested in checking that out. And so, yeah, I am just doing my little square boxes again. I do them as 5 by 5s, and the icons that I print are 0.75 by 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch by 3/4 of an inch, and that they fit in those boxes perfectly. And here I'm getting my books drawn, and so I had to do this in two parts actually. I get all of this down and then I come back in and basically finish off the rest of August. And as I said, I filmed it in two different parts, and they will just be all kind of pushed together instead of me saving the last part for another journal catch up video because why? Especially since I have since moved on to my new one, which is like a dark kind of teal color or whatever. And so I am getting, here we go. I have put it together here, and here is the last of it. You all, I went back and watched American Ninja 1. When I tell you, I used to be obsessed with those American Ninja movies when I was a kid, and so yeah, I have to talk more about that at another time. But I am getting down the song that I was listening to on repeat, which was Boyfriend by Kiki Palmer. Listen, the absolute pettiness and shade and creativity of both Usher and Kiki Palmer together, I absolutely loved it. The song is a bop. Go listen to it. And then I am also getting down the last book I managed to complete for August, which was actually a compilation book of short stories by POC authors, and it was so good. I enjoyed it. I can't say there was any of the stories that I didn't like. Of course, I liked some more than others. However, I liked all of them. I did finish this book called Who Fears Death. It was just okay for me. It wasn't terrible, but I felt like some parts were overly explained while other parts that needed more explanation was not. There was no sense, or like there was no explanation of the lore or the magic to me. Like it could have been, they could have delved deeper. If yeah, they could have just they could have gone deeper. They could have made sense more for me in that book, Who Fears Death. Now I did read that author, like back in 2017, her book had been optioned to HBO, to become a series with George R. R. Martin as like the helm of it or something, creative director. I'm not exactly sure what his role would be. However, I have since not heard anything about it, and so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that, and it will be interesting to see if that ends up after the writer and actor strike, if that actually ends up becoming a thing. So we'll see, because I do know that George R. R. Martin is trying to get more writers work out there as far as creating them as series and stuff like that. So we'll see how that ends up. I am very interested to know. And I read this book here, The Wrong Kind of Love. It was so cute. It's an indie book, self-published, and if I'm not mistaken, and Lexi Ryan has a whole series of these Jackson Harbor books, and this was a freebie, and that's why I ended up getting it, and I read it, and I actually really enjoyed it. I can't wait to read the next book. So yeah, and then this is the book I was just speaking about, the compilation book, and it's called A Phoenix First Must Burn, and that is actually a line or quote from one of Octavia Butler's books, and that's why it was named after it. And it was edited by Patricia Briggs, who writes a lot of vampire books, and I've actually been meaning to get into her and read her books because people rave about her. So yeah. Oh, and fun fact, the singer A Marie, I did not know this. Now I knew she was into like books and stuff because I had run across her YouTube at one point, and she was, talking about literature and books and yada yada yada. But she has a short story in this book, which I thought was interesting. And I go on to see a little blurb of her information, and like she's doing something with a newspaper now as far as editing or writing or something like that. So I did not know that she had transitioned from being an artist into being a writer, but I thought it was fantastic. So yeah, and actually her story is the first one in that book. So yeah, moving on, to finish this up, I'm just going to be decorating a few more pages in my morning pages journal. And speaking of which, I have like a day or two more that I can fit in my current comment. Why I want to keep calling it a commonplace, but it's not a commonplace, in my morning pages journal. And then I will be done, and I will be setting up my new one, which I already have an A6 Stalogy in my stash ready to go for this exact purpose, and which means I probably need to go ahead and order another one. But anyway, so yeah, that will pretty much wrap this up. If anyone has any comments or questions, please leave those below. I trust that everyone has been safe and well, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.